On Saturday morning, and we're going live on YouTube, Instagram, and trying to figure out this Facebook. Maybe not. It's like I don't know. All right. Here we go. Go live. Here I am. It might be a little backwards, but I think we're looking good. Now you got YouTube and the Instagram. I don't know. I don't think this Facebook thing's gonna work. I haven't done it before, but thought it was gonna be easy. What's the group? Yeah. Now let's go live. Come on. All right. Well, we'll stay on Instagram and YouTube. All right. Little CROM updating. If you don't know who I am already, one of the ones out there doing his own CROM the Barbarian. This is my 2024 release of all my CROM up to date, which is 4 of my stories continuing the journey pre Gardner Fox, John Guinta, Jack Katz, and then a really nicely illustrated pulp style CROM story called The CROM and the Warlock of Sharador, and of course collaborated with 5 amazing artists in having them do their own versions of CROM pinups, and then they were virgin covers for these CROMs. You can only get these cover versions from the artists. So if you'd like to get a CROM collected 2024, 140 pages of black and white Sword Sorcery goodness, but you don't want this cover, my cover. If you'd like one of the other covers, give me a contact. I'll send you to them, and then get that there cleared. I'm also currently working on CROM Anthology #1, updates to follow. 228 pages right now, standing. A lot of collaborations and contributions, about 18, I feel, at this point. And just really, really super excited. Today, I'm going to be doing the final touches on this Jim Gullett Scratchboard. So he did the drawing, the pinup, and then I took it over to a 11 by 14 Scratchboard, and I'm going to bring that into conclusion. So that'll be the majority of this episode. Then, just for you other fans out there, we've got CROM, the Brutal Blader CROM collection of 5 artists. Just double check. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artists. Just hit the ground and running. It's in the wild on the 18th of August. You can get copies from me at cromthebarbarian.com or just Jamie on Instagram. He has a direct link. And there is also issue 2 to be had. I want to thank all of those who did orders from me. We've got quite a few. A couple of people took us up on getting both copies 1 and 2 Brutal Blader CROM, which keeps them up to date. Then a couple also added CROM the Barbarian, which is Jim Gullett's collection of his first 4 CROM the Barbarians, which is I'm working on his Scratchboard version of one of his pinups. And then also in the cromthebarbarian.com shop, just added the amazing Jeff Lafferty's The Berserko. Now, I've got a couple of copies of these, wanted to get them out to people. So you have the opportunity to purchase it from there. Of course, you can always get it from Jeff too. Um, and then Scoundrel's Dread. This is Drawn Swords dark art, concept art book, Intergalactic Bounty Hunters. Amazing. It's a limited print run of only 100 copies. Each copy is signed and numbered by Drawn Sword, printed in New Zealand. I have fewer than the original amount of copies I brought over. I brought 25 over, I believe. We're down in the teens, so here are those books to get a hold of. So these are just a few of the comics that are available over at cromthebarbarian.com. Go ahead and come over and buy. If you're not going to purchase at this time, there are plenty of other updates and information about what's going on in CROM's world. So, Scratchboard, love it. I have a great time doing Scratchboard. I actually spent a couple of years doing Scratchboard. As a matter of fact, just over here in my studio, for the Gardner Francis Fox Library, I did 136 6x6 inch portraits of females for the Gardner Francis Fox Library collection. I don't know how many of the books. So this was a way to, as I was digitizing his 156 books, I decided to up my skill and go towards these Scratchboard. So this is on clayboard. This is a really high-end product, but expensive. And of course, as you see, these are framed, and I do sell them. I sell them off of kurtbrugel.com. But there's another one. These are some of my favorites. They still keep near me, which I haven't yet posted or sold. So, and Scratchboard, historically for me, I was introduced to it in college, fell in love with it. But what it really still holds is a mechanism of control on the surface. Now, this is the cheap stuff. This is, we would call this student grade. It's like a plastic coated paper. It then has a black ink on it, and then you just use tools to scratch away. I've gotten this far with it. I've actually started playing around, which is I'm going to continue playing around. This is white gouache just to create an effect on this eyeball. But here you can see Jim's amazing pinup. And I have been following Jim since I got back into comics and chose to use the public domain character CROM the Barbarian, and do daily, weekly, monthly searches online to find in other individuals. And there was Jim Gullett's CROM, which was being published by Lucky Comics. Christopher Mills was doing a CROM, which I have. I don't have it near me, but I'm going to add that to the store very soon. And then Adam Bennett. Adam Bennett has joined the Crommunity. He is actually just started back into making comics. CROM is one of the characters he's working on, and this is his CROM Part 1, Altar of the Serpent. So super excited to have Adam a part of this crew. Definitely from the beginning. I have him right next to Jim Gullett, which kind of reminds me of those guys that really spurred me on and keep spurring me on, to get work done and everything. So the obvious thing is that when you're doing Scratchboard, you're working only with white, which forces you to be in what's called a negative viewpoint. So you're looking at everything in the negative. Here, the positive is just black lines. So, and everybody does that. Everybody just outlines things and stuff. The negative of it is you have to start looking into the white shapes and going from there. Now, I'm not the most meticulous scratcher. In other words, I don't sit there and try to do everything perfectly. And using this kind of cheapo stuff is affording me the ability to sort of bring back, kind of see some of these black ink. Black paint pens. Let me see, this one here really works well. The Artistro. So I'll probably be bringing some of that in. But, there's things like here on the, there's just areas that are more flat white that I want to start bringing in. And then just sort of shaping up some of the other areas. This is about 80%, maybe 90, even close to 90%. I just wanted to bring it into the final scratchings, before I put it out into CROM Anthology. So I don't know how much talking I'm going to be doing, because I do need to, as they say, use my head, which is I just clock out, right? Or I'm not here. So forgive me if I go super silent. But I'm just going after. I want really some of these areas I want really white. So I'm just going to be bringing it all the way down to the plastic, and I can go if I don't find that it's meeting something. I've scratched too much away. I can always add ink to it. So one of my goals, and I believe it's going to happen for the second anthology, and I have a feeling it's going to be with Jim's work, because it just it makes sense the way Jim really works on scratching out his character, his drawings and such. I'm probably going to do a whole entire comic this way. It's definitely on my lists of wanting to do. The tool, these tools come with the kit, ampersand, clayboard, who puts together the clayboard product, which is masonite board, this clay product, which is very soft and absorbent, but you can kind of go there. Very multi-using with the, just putting together mediums to make things happen and stuff. So, but they're cheap. This is actually an upholstery needle. I bought a set of upholstery needles and then just took black electrical tape to make a hand. This is what I start everything with. This is like basically my penciling. Then there is another kind of arrowhead. You can see here, kind of gives a wider cutting into, but this has that scoop on it, so it's kind of like a knife, like it just cuts away. And that's what I'm really after right now, is just getting just back to the white of the paper. Now the one thing is that you do end up running down. You scratch so much that you end up cutting into the paper. So I do have to be a bit careful here, because I did a lot of white cross hatching. And that's really all I do too. It's one of the things I like about it. The way it came about was I wanted, just in my own work, to just work so heavily medium, positive black on white, or just materials on top of each other, that it ends up, I want to start bringing back white. And there's not a lot of, paint markers now, they are super awesome. I use about 3 different kinds, but for something where I want to have a very crisp line, you can kind of see the details, that cross hatching. That's hard to do with a like a white mark making material, like you're not definitely not color pencil. That's not going to work. And paint markers, you know, there's even gel pens, but it's tough. You got to have proper prepared source. You know, your your surface needs to be prepared to receive that medium. You'll notice I use this. I don't even know what kind of glove this is, but there is a tendency that your hands will sweat and they'll kind of pick up the black and kind of smudge and move. So I've always used these. I don't even know what these are. I know I got them on Amazon. They work well. I think I'm due to get some new ones. As you can see, the finger's already fraying and everything. So. I'll tell you the biggest challenge in doing Scratchboard is the white. Like you're competing with, you know, like a white piece of paper, you're competing with the white with black. So that's pretty easy. Just keep piling on ink and splattering and all that kind of fun stuff. But when you're doing it by scratching, yeah, there's a lot. And this is 14 by 17. So the hand can get a little crampy. Now, one thing is that's frustrating is, and you can see that, you know, it's not, you only have one real direction to be moving. It's hard to do a circle, you know, so basically you're kind of always making, you know, twists and turns to get in there. And these Kirby Crackles kind of are challenging. I'm not too happy with them now. They're definitely not the way I see them. So I'm probably going to have to scrape a lot of this out and then just draw them in. So you can see how like that really changes a lot by going super white on it. Also, too, like And this thick black stuff here, these lines, you know, and just cut right back into them. And this is primarily the reason I like doing Scratchboard. Also keeps you honest in what abilities you really do have, and you know, translating what you see in the mind's eye there. So like, this is not, I'm even tempted to just throw white. Actually, I'm probably even going to do that. I've been thinking about that since coming back to this. I'm going to get into the face, and I think what I'm going to do is then get some white gouache. I don't want to. All right, now the face is going to be tough. I'm going to redo the eyes. I know that, so I'm just going to scrape out. There we go. Good old alien blank stare there. Thing about Jim Gullett's CROM is the moment I saw his version of CROM, I was very much attracted to it because of the non-handsomeness. Like, he's not, in my mind, CROM is not a handsome fella. You know, even going into like the argument of, you know, how Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Cimmerian is seen now as this, you know, because of Marvel Comics and John Milius's Conan the Barbarian movie, which, you know, I'm a huge fan of both. But, you know, when you get back to that original source material, you know, there's not a lot of sexy in there, not a lot of handsome swashbuckling, you know, and that's, you know, that's not what's selling ever. You know, everybody loves a handsome, hunky guy, you know, as your hero. You know, same with the female, you know, now that it's no more damsels in distress, now they're, you know, sword wielding, you know, as like Red Sonja, Valeria, Valet. But it still doesn't, you know, I like rough, like the entire thought of a character being very rough. And so I find Jim Gullett's CROM to be very rough, which is probably one of the best compliments I can give somebody. All right, I am pretty good with this. I am going to come back with some pen here and there. That's a little weird here. And then scratch a little bit. Right now, I am going to grab some. I was just using some white gouache on some other pages, which I'll share in a little bit once I have this off, because then I can let this dry appropriately. Show off some new pages that have been completed. Oh, what am I looking for? There you go. These water brushes are probably one of the greatest inventions ever in my mind. One of the things I'm not a fan of anymore is set up, clean up, break down and put away painting materials. So I've not been there for a long time. And one of the reasons is this, you have to have, I have brushes and jars of water, that's not the problem, but these things are just, you can get that consistency the way you want it. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so I just want to not have it so white and create more of an effect. And I'm going to come back with some white. Wow, this is really cool. Oh my God. So this is what you got to do, is you got to play with your materials. The thing I'm worried about is the leakage. It's kind of like a tearing effect. God dang. But I really love this effect. Wow. This is really changing the game here. Wow. Wow. This is what I'm all about, taking chances. And I will admit, I don't take as many chances as I should. I mean, in my own judgment of myself. But I'm sure people, when they're like looking at my work, they're going, "Yo, dude, like, just leave it alone. It looks fine. Like, why do you have to keep throwing the black colored pencil in there, or the graphite, or it's just the way my mind is being led to, is something done the way I see it. It's just the way it is. I'm not here to. I'm here to get out of my own way, as they say, when it comes to making art. That's when you look at all these other people and the success they have in their art making and sales. They most definitely have just gotten out of their own way. Wow, look at that effect. I'm gonna put some of this on the sword. It's like dripping sorcery. It's just like dripping sorcery. I love it. All right, so I'm just gonna put some. Yes. Oh man, this is a game changer for when I do the Scratchboard comic book. It's a great effect. I think I'm running out of a little, but I need to let this dry, which will give me time to yammer on about some other things. Oh man, get back up there. Okay. Ooh. What's something I'm going to get out of there? All right. So, and I use gouache. This is white gouache, so I don't even clean the brush. I actually do it on purpose because allowing the paint to dry will keep the point of the brush. So, all right. I am thoroughly impressed. I'm going to have to move this bad boy over to the working table behind me, which is fine because I can get. All right, I'm gonna let this dry. Hopefully it'll dry in the next like 5-10 minutes. If not, all right, put that there. All right, I want to show off what I did. I finished yesterday. Jason Schoonover and I collaborated on a 7-pager, 8-pager. I'll count in a second. I always forget. It's called CROM the Har. Jason came up with this amazing concept of this urban legend myth thing that came out of Afghanistan and these, the occupation of the troops over there and Kandahar giant is what it comes down. You can look it up, Kandahar with a K, giant. So, as I was talking earlier, I use a lot of distressed looking instruments to give me tone and texture. If you were with me before, I had a whole bunch of Post-its on here indicating basically some white and black spray can painting. I have black, white, and gray spray paint cans. And I usually have to give just some notations on my pieces and then ventilate the room, mask, and then just hit everything with those cans. But I masked out and got black over here, white. The sun just kind of starts bleeding out the harsh dark register. A lot of black color pencil to try to put this darker gray value in there, and then correcting just just things that need to be fixed. It's not like mistakes; they're just need to be fixed. One of the cool things was I put this really strong edge light on here because there's a light over here. As a matter of fact, since I'm here, one of the things I wanted to do just to bleed out the edge. I bought these. Oh gosh, what are they? Progresso, Konar. These are woodless, so this isn't complete. Prismacolor put out an art stick. Like this is the white one. They no longer manufacture it. So I use these on like areas where I just want to like really like broad. But I when you can get yourself something like that, then you can move on the edge and here I can show you. See what I mean? I can do a lot more coverage, with a woodless one, where if you had the pencil lead, there's the pencil lead. So gotten into this. Not this white one from Progresso Konar. Not doing a trick because let me just bring back. Although I do have, just wanted to soften the edge of the window so that there's some light, in there. Let me bring this back here. And one of the things I love about using color pencils, black and white color pencils, is they erase. So it is no big deal to get into something. If you don't like it, I can get right back to that line if I should choose. So no worries there. So this is completed. I'm going to be scanning this tomorrow morning, putting it into a PDF and sending it to Mr. Schoonover to make sure it's meeting all of his expectations. But super happy to have this basically 99% completed. This was a very challenging page right from the start. I got some chats over here. What is that board? The board is Scratchboard. It's from, oh boy, Artboard. I can't remember. If you go on Google and just put school grade Scratchboard, it's going to be, it has a tiger on the front of it. Got Matt. Saboteur, John. John Molina in the house. How's it going, John? And thank you, Bat Merc, the metal cartoonist. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Good. Good. I need some YouTube. Some people hanging out on YouTube. Gonna work on getting my Facebook connection there and everything. So we'll see what happens from there. But not really that worried about it. So this was the most challenging page in the most positive way. I had ideas and I kind of let this happen and that happen. But the composition that Jason gave me really lent to how to ink something in blackness, darkness of chaos, and these very like specific things. And I think it's come along really well. I'm very happy with it. There's some areas where I'm kind of like, I could push this or I could pull that, but I'm good. I'm good. There might be a little bit of tinkering here and there, but for the most part, yeah. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. Happy with that. That's going to come out print-wise. This was a page that just like came together. This is like going through the video camera, and it's just exactly the way I wanted it. Down to this, you know, CROM is crushing the camera, you know, and basically it's going black, and it's kind of that digital effect of something, you know. And this is just a dried out paint marker. Excuse me, ink pen. One of my ink pens. I keep a bucket of, you know, as they're drying out. This is exactly what I use it for. And then this one was kind of fun, where I wanted to add that light in the window. So that came along nicely. And then I wanted to kind of paint them white, like to have them like you know, you have that one light in your studio in the middle of the night and it kind of ambience, you know, a glow on you. And I think that it came out nicely. So added some stars. And then this was the big, like, you know, mask this all out and then hit this and the sword with white spray paint just to calm these lines down a little bit. Might hit it one more time just to kind of get something to blast over the edge a bit and meet up with this. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, I basically have to get myself 99% complete, you know, happy with the pages, satisfied with the pages to get them the press. And then I had also mentioned that my CROM Iconian pinup here, that will be in CROM Anthology #1. She was too like muddled. There was way too much information, and so I just whitewashed her. You know, basically all those highlights. Just put whitewash onto her, and I haven't scanned this either, so I'm starting to see places where I want to. Pardon me for. There we go. And so to be able to whitewash and then to be able to, you know, simplify the lines and get things. And I think that came out nice. This was also too gray. And so I just took the black Progresso woodless Konar pencil and just calm that down, even threw some whitewash in here. And then another thing I've been getting into are the black and gray Sharpie paintbrush tips. So these are paint markers. These things are also magical. And, you know, working in gray again, white also in some of the areas. Just very, very satisfying. This, I'll tell you right now, the CROM Anthology is like another layer of my thoughts. So when I put this together, CROM 2024 collection, it was to basically just ground me at where I was at that point in putting all this work together, which these pages were just ballpoint pen pages that were collected back in 2018. even probably before then. Yeah, because I got in 2015. I returned to making art full time, comics. Anyhow, so this was a way for me to just level my game at a point and then work from there. Now, a lot of things happen. I also am the co-host and co-artist author of Turbo Pit Fighter with Jake Jacobs, which is another YouTube channel. And this is where things started happening for me. This distressed look, tone and texture, just getting all kinds of materials to create these grays and everything. We have another, I'm doing a second printing, only 20 copies of this Turbo teaser. And I'll be talking about that as soon as I get the copies. They just went to the printer yesterday. So I think in a week I will have copies and I will share them with you and some other exciting news that come with it. But, you know, I wanted to leap from here and into here. So here's another Scratchboard. That's one of my first CROM Scratchboards. That was one of my first CROM sketches. I did a drawing, then did the Scratchboard on the same art Scratchboard paper. And then I started leveling up and then getting to the clayboard expensive stuff. But there's just so many things in my ADD that I just don't want to suppress anymore. And oh, here you go. It's a perfect example. There you go. So you can see this is all about now. You know, this is flat black, which is what I'm looking for. I'm making this art. This is the art. CROM Anthology, CROM print is my art. This is what I'm working for. This is what I'm making here. This is, to me, just a drawing, an ink drawing, to get me to here. So when I do get it printed, that's why I do the mock-up, and there'll be an artist proof, which will go out to select contributor collaborators. So those who look like Jason Schoonover, you know, they'll be able to see. Like I said, I'll send him a PDF version that we can kind of look at once I have an artist proof, and we can kind of, you know, see things. But there's certain things like this, to me, just all ran together. So now I had to make these decisions, made them. We'll see what happens and stuff. It'll come through. But you can see how this is just really, it's very confusing. I believe this is a lot less confusing. So, you know, this is what I'm going for. This is James Anthony pencils. I asked if I could do something inking wise. Another really great thing. There's a last page of CROM Bihar. Before, that's just the 80% skeletal inking. And then get to there. So, Bat Merc, the best stories are the original stories. I mean, I can really, you know, toot my own horn, but the starting point is that CROM is a public domain character, and therefore 1950, 3 stories were put out. The writer's Gardner F. Fox, and the artist is John Guinta, and they did 3 10-pagers. I've collected all 10 pages. I actually have a colored version at the CROM the Barbarian shop, which is like a little digest, which is full color, and then my ballpoint pen are there available, so you can kind of get that. I wanted to see them like in Savage Sword of Conan style, just black and white, you know, magazine size, and these are great. I even scanned the pages at 1200 DPI to get like a really nice super blow up on the artistry of these panels. So they're kind of like cut through there. So if you're going to get started, just get yourself started with the original 3 stories. Now, I did a little funny. That's the 3 here. I took an old Jack Katz Zangar comic, I guess Zangar 2, which was written by Gardner F. Fox and illustrated by Jack Katz. And I think 1971 for Skywell Publishing. Then I went in through Photoshop and edited out Zangar with CROM, and he was a redhead orangey hair, and then bleached him out to blonde to create, because the story is 12 pages long and it reads more Sword and Sorcery than it would be like a Tarzan jungle thing. And it just helped create more. I mean, look at that, Jack. That's a splash, Jack Katz. I mean, come on. This is just freaking amazing. And then Gardner Fox is a writer. It's just Gardner Francis Fox Library is, where it's at. So that would answer your question. You'll get it all in CROM Collected 2024, the revised edition. So, and CROMthebarbarian.com. Hit it over there. Check it out. There's a lot. I do blogs. Yeah. I'm going to have to check your stuff out, Bad Merc. So let me check and see how we're doing on drying. Still wet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to this. I think I'm going to have to leave this for an entire night for drying. But the next time I get on here, I will definitely have more updates. I will even show this off as completed. Let me just run through, what's going on again before we head out. If you're on Instagram or YouTube, any questions, please, you can make them live, if you will, or just get a little situated here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the big shout out I want to make once again is for Brutal Blade of CROM. This was put together. Project lead is Jamie Jones. This is issue number 2. Issue number 3. Let me get this out of the way so I don't smudge anything. Issue number 3 is going to be in September. So there will be a follow-up to this, which is amazing. He's already started posting for number 4, spring of next year. And then a all-female barbarian, which I'm going to be doing a contribution to. So I'm really excited about working in contribution to Brutal Blade of CROM. So I call them the CROM Brotherhood over there. These guys are amazing. I'm not spoiling anything on this. There is a whole video where I spoil basically an entire episode with Jamie Barrows, who's the project lead and one of the artists. So you get a good insight to the artist, the art going on in here, and they're great. 8.5 by 11, really well made by Mix'em. I'm actually getting the second printing of the Turbo Teaser. I sold out of the 50 copies that we printed at the beginning of the year. Might even been the end of last year. I can't remember. This is something Jamie and I did together at IC3. He did the pencils. I did the ink, and it's like we're playing around with these gel pens. It's kind of fun. Anyhow, this is like the big announcement out there. I'll be following up in October with the hopeful release. It's feeling good. I feel good about it, but there's always life that gets in the way. As I mentioned in the last episode, I did get a commission. So a commission came through. So I am going to have to cut out time, and which is fun. It's a beautiful thing. But it can't always just be CROM, Sword Sorcery. Got to break it up, do some other stuff. Some other guys that I have in the CROM the Barbarian shop. Just favorites. These are people that I am always constantly going to in a source of inspiration, motivation. Jim Gullett had put together a collection of his first 4 CROM the Barbarian comics that he did with Lucky Comics. This is a great little digest size. I mean, look at this stuff. Amazing. Jeff Lafferty, I've been actually following him before I left the real job to come back to arts. huge motivator. We're going to be interviewing him the 14th of September on the Turbo Pit Fighter channel. On our channel, we have a series called the Indie Creator Exchange, where we exchange a comic and then send them a teaser, and then we sit down. We just talk comics for about an hour. I grabbed a couple more copies, purchase-wise, and then threw them up on CROM the Barbarian. And then one of the original collaborators I reached out to, man, I cannot say enough in the way of like what Drawn Sword's work does for me. I mean, if you're really into sword and sorcery, pencil, black and white art, this is the guy. Drawn Sword. Also, he has an 11-pager for a 3-part CROM series that he's doing with Ron Parsons, which is called, here's just a sneak peek, CROM the Courageous. I mean, look at this. This is just super amazing. I just to keep it even better, brought it like right up to the line. I just want to see the way he works and stuff. So Drawn Sword, everybody. 3 more pieces to that, and then he has another character, comic book character named Karnak, who's related to the Scoundrels Dread universe bounty hunter, but you know, there's many, I think there's 8 CROM updates and talks with Drawn Sword at cromthebarbarian.com or on the YouTube channel. You know, and he's not like, he allows, and this is one of the most inspiring things about him, is that he allows himself to just move. Like once the pencil hits the paper and starts going, it's the master. It puts the image together and the story and everything, and it just comes. I mean, look at this. This is 1,000 word. This is a short story right here. So, all available at cromthebarbarian.com. That's what I have on this real nice, cool Saturday afternoon on the East Coast. After a nice first hurricane, I guess, that came through the East Coast of the United States. Anyhow, yeah, I found this channel through Drawn Sword. Oh, all right. Bad Merc. All right. He's a great dude. Yes. And Conqueror. Yes. Yes. These books. Yes. All right. Well, Bert, I'm going to check your Bad Merc, BATTMURK. You made all these comments here on YouTube. I'm going to check you out, and please let's stay connected. And you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future with collaborations and the such. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you for taking the time, either during the live session to join me and checking, you know, and not getting the update on what's going on with my CROM Anthology #1, and you'll see me in about a week or so. All right. Take care of yourselves. Keep drawing, making comics.